All right. So I was reading a couple of them, a couple of your speech, and I have very good comments about them. You know, the idea of the collocations and everything, all the vocabulary that we have seen through the week, has been very useful. Definitely, like I think you have clarified some words and how to express some things. What How did you feel? How did you feel? Sorry, yesterday writing after getting this information, after having this type of info about collocations.
Well, I felt more comfortable at the moment to at the moment I use the prepositions after some words.
Good.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you? What happens when you don't know what preposition to use? What's your strategy?
In For words that I didn't know
Yeah.
before.
No, for purpose when
um,
you don't know what preposition to use.
mm, I don't know. I think that I read again
Uh-huh.
what I am writing, and
Okay.
if it sounds, I don't know, it's just if it sounds good or not. I think that it's like a, I don't know how to say that, like a feeling that you have, that
Yeah, like
it's like a English comes sometimes
okay.
natural comes to you. So probably I don't have any specific tip. Just I read it again all the tests.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that needs correction. Definitely needs correction. Like, can anyone? Yeah, like because precisely talking about collocations, sometimes it can sound well because it probably sounds good in Spanish. So that you say, okay, the translation probably is this one, and then okay, that's it. But that's exactly the source of mistakes. That's exactly what happens, or the reason why we commit a lot of mistakes. So there should be a strategy there. What kind of strategy can we form here? Ideas? No, nobody. I'm gonna give you one. While writing, verify open the dictionary. Once that you have here with me, you have the chance to to open the dictionary when being consulted. You know, in the real exam you won't. So these specific practices are a very good way to consult this type of common expressions that we use. So whenever you have the real exam in front of you, you will remember all the consultation that you did with me. You know? So right now, probably you will say, okay, I will make a simulation of a TOEFL, so I won't consult anything. That technically can be damaging. That can provide the opposite side, you know, because this is exactly your chance to consult, to ask, to view, and to open the dictionary, which is the most relevant thing when learning a language. So then when you do a real exam, you'll be like, I remember I consulted this. I can remember I consulted that. This is expression that I say a lot. This is expression that I usually commit mistakes with. This is expression that the teacher usually corrects me a lot, you know? So your strategy should be in this moment that you're practicing, open Oxford Dictionary. Every time, get Oxford Dictionary next to you. Got it? Right? That can eliminate this instinct. Because, yeah, probably sometimes the instinct tells you, it sounds good, right? And probably that's right. you can have a further uh, input, or more, you can feel more sure about your writing if you pinky promise. Gotcha? This is a comment I wanted to give you before doing the writing exam, because after reading your texts, I was like, yeah, definitely this person will need to have some sort of source of information before writing. Okay, so don't worry in this moment. Feel free to open the dictionary and feel free to mark the words that you feel are new. Especially that you were like, oh, I thought that it was a connector for and it was a connector at. Or I thought the connector was with and the connector was into, like take the note of these new collocations. Got it? Let's begin then. Perfect, perfect. So we are going to begin the next part of the test. And we are going to start with your writing section. Test 2. Here it is. Is everybody on the test? Open the same document where you wrote yesterday's writing, and let's start with the first one. This is listening, this is speaking, and this is writing. Perfect. Okay, let's read the directions together. Help me, Fe.
Give me 1 second. I'm reading. I'm speaking. Okay. Writing. Direction. This section measures your ability to use writing to communicate in an academic environment. There will be 2 writing tasks. For the first writing task, you will read a passage and listen to a lecture and then answer a question based on what you have read and heard. For the second task, you will answer
based on what again?
Based on what you have read and heard.
Read, exactly. Perfect, continue.
For the second task, you will answer a question based on what your own knowledge and experience. At the end of this practice test, you will find a script for the audio track, topic notes, sample test taker essays, and comments on those essays by official writers.
This one is, do you know what is, for example, when you collocate 5 stars on a movie? This is the
Raters.
rate, exactly. So rater is a person who scores something.
Okay, so, and comments on those essays by official raters. Turn the page to see the directions to the first writing task.
Perfect. So the second, we have already done it. We are going to begin with the first one, right? It says here, writing based on reading and listening. For the first task, you will read a passage about an academic topic, and you will listen to a lecture about the same topic. You may take notes while you read and listen, right? Which means you have the total permission, total access to take a note on the thing, because it's a very long audio, okay? This audio is, let me give you the duration. It is track 30.
Now listen to.
Yeah. It's like 2 minutes of constant talking, right? So it's pretty long. Let's read this section. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to read so we can listen to the audio. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Action. Vocabulary questions? Anything easy?
Yeah, I just was searching what is meerkat, what animal is meerkat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the just to check the face of the animal, right? Okay. The track, it's precisely about that. Attention.
Now listen to part of a lecture on the topic you just read about.
You know, often in science, new findings force us to re-examine earlier beliefs and assumptions. And a recent study of meerkats is having exactly this effect. The study examined the meerkat's behavior quite closely, much more closely than had ever been done before. And some interesting things were found, like about eating habits. It showed that typically meerkats eat before they stand guard. So the one standing guard had a full stomach. And the study also found that since the sentinel is the first to see a predator coming, it's the most likely to escape, because it often stands guard near a burrow, so it can run immediately into the burrow after giving the alarm. The other meerkats, the ones scattered about looking for food, are actually in greater danger. And in fact, other studies have suggested that when an animal creates an alarm, the alarm call might cause the other group members either to gather together or else to move about very quickly, behaviors that might actually draw the predator's attention away from the caller, increasing that animal's own chances of survival. And what about people? What about some human acts that might be considered altruistic? Let's take an extreme case. Suppose a person donates a kidney to a relative, or even to a complete stranger. A selfless act, right? But doesn't the donor receive appreciation and approval from the stranger and from society? Doesn't the donor gain an increased sense of self-worth? Couldn't such non-material rewards be considered very valuable to some people?
Summarize the points made in the lecture, being sure to explain how they oppose specific points made in the reading passage.
That's the audio. Summarize the points. You have 20 minutes. 3 minutes. Start the conclusion. Time's up. Pencils up. Very good. Okay, I'm very interested to see how you're doing. I'm writing some feedback on yesterday on the last page, so I can send it to you. But definitely, I need you to pass me this one right away. Okay. Let me know when you send it to me. Okay, I got chuchos. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Part one ready, part two. Okay, you have both parts in the same document. That's excellent. Fair's excellent. Perfect. And Connie's is in the same document, no? The one you are.
Yes.
All right. I want opinions. What do you think about this? About this exercise? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Tell me about it.
For me, it was very helpful. Yes,
Good.
because especially I have the problem that when I write sentence, my ideas, sometimes I don't know how to express my own ideas. So this is very useful for me. Yes.
Does that happen in Spanish too, or are you speaking about your English abilities?
No, only my English abilities.
Okay, okay. Like trying to find the word and trying to remember how you say things in like the correct translation.
Yes, the correct translation.
Okay, okay. No, these exercises are super important. Super important. Remember when it was only just a few lines, and today you're making a full text. That's a crazy progress. That's
I
crazy.
discovered a fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
For those who don't know, Chucho has been taking classes with me since he knew nothing. He couldn't speak anything when I met him. Oh, Chucho,
But nice.
you are here, bro. You are right here.
Thanks. I will cry.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's make a pause before I saw that Connie activated the microphone, but let's just pass in this moment to Jessie for a second so we can pass attendance. Go, Jess.
Hi,
Hey,
good
girl.
morning, thank you.
Morning,
Shall
girl.
we take attendance?
Yes, please.
Bonnie?
Here, good morning.
Good morning. Good. Thank you. It's it.
Absent.
All right. Jesus.
Present. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, Beth. Thank you. Alex.
Alex, absent.
All right. Per.
Here, Jessie, good morning.
Good morning, first. Thank you. Sophie.
Good morning, Jessie.
Good morning, sir. Thank you. And Isla.
And he's absent.
All right. So that's all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Have a
girl.
good day.
You too.
Thank you to you. See you.
Perfect. So yeah, definitely this is a little tricky to find ways to explain yourself, trying to explore the vocabulary that you have had and you have learned because it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, but one of the things that you can take from is words that you have in this text can be copied. You know, and that is, I don't know if it's a dirty strategy, but that's a strategy. People usually, testers consider that as positive points because you are understanding what the vocabulary is saying and you are reusing the words in a correct way. So this particular ability is also a very good strategy whenever you face an example, an exercise like that. Okay? Take that as a note. Whenever you don't find the words, go back to the reading text. Probably you have some reference there, and probably that can make you remember other synonyms. Okay, that's another tip that I can give you. Connie, what do you think about this exercise?
Yes, it was difficult because they say in the instruction that you should use the words that they say in the listening part in
Right.
the audio. Then I didn't catch a lot of ideas from the audio, not because I didn't understand them, is because I was more focused in other ideas than the other ones. And then I just have two main ideas and I try to explain them from the audio, not from my opinion. And that was the problem.
What an important thing to say. You know that I usually insist on on listening exercises to say the exact literal words, because when we are speakers of another language, naturally we pass information to our language, and that distracts us from the real from the words that they say. And this exercise confirms that situation because at the end, copying those words in your text can help a lot. So I know this is a very difficult task to do because you are trying to, like, yeah, figure your own ways to explain, no, like you're trying to find a paraphrasis, right?
Yes.
I know how it feels, but try to stick the most that you can to the literal words.
Yes, I used some of them, but I think that it was a short answer, but I think that this is a good answer, just it is short.
Yes, definitely. Doesn't matter it is short.
Okay.
That's a good thing about this type of test. The thing is that it goes directly to the point.
Yes.
Very nice, Connie. That's the difficult part, guys. Don't paraphrase. It's super, super natural. I don't know why, like, in our mother language, teachers tells us, explain in your own words, right? And I agree. I mean, I don't know if I agree or disagree with this type of strategy that they teach us in primary, secondary, high school, no? They tell you explain the scientific paper with your own words. But what happens if I don't have words, teacher? Like, what happens if I don't really understand what is going on and I have no words to explain it? That's probably the issue with education. So when we are learning a second language, we usually try to find our own words. That's very difficult, even more difficult than in our mother language, because it's like a second process. Definitely, you like many people may consider this as a copy paste, but I promise it's not. It's definitely not. A person appreciates when they repeat the word that you said. A lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Okay? And that's it. That's pretty much it. Which takes us, speaking about words, takes us to the speaking section. Right? The speaking section is precisely about finding your own words. Very different from the writing. Writing is more like copy paste, speaking is not. Okay? So there's a very, very interesting part here. Every one of you is going to make only one of the texts. When we do the simulation, we are going to do the full exercise. Okay? But in this moment, only each one of you are going to make one of the exercise. Okay? Let's read the instructions. Help me, Sophie.
The following speaking section of the test will last approximately 20 minutes. To complete it, you will need a recording device that you can play back to listen to your responses. During the test, you will answer 6 speaking questions. 2 of the questions ask about familiar topics, 4 questions ask about short conversations, lectures, and reading passages. You may take notes as you listen to the conversation and lectures. The questions and the reading passage are printed here. The time you will have
Again. What are printed here?
the reading passage.
One passage. And 2?
Passages.
Excellent. That's right. Again.
The question and the reading passages are printed here. The time you will have to prepare your response and to speak is printed below each question. You should answer all the questions as completely as possible in the time allowed. Play the audio tracks, listen in the test instructions. Record each of your responses. At the end of this practice test, you will find scripts for the audio tracks, important points for each question, directions for listening to sample spoken responses, and comments on those responses by official writers.
By official what again?
Writers?
Mm-hmm.
Writers.
Do you remember what is the exactly? Rating, raters. That's the relation. Okay, so precisely, right? Take notes as you listen if you want to, right? And the time you will have to prepare your response and to speak is printed below each question. So the exam guides you through the how long you have to spend. Okay? So for example, question number 1, it says you will now be asked a question about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response. 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Okay? So let's try with this one. Let's open the clock. And let's go through. This is going to be 15 seconds. This is going to be 45. No, this is 45 seconds. Let's go. So the first one that's going to answer the first exercise will be Connie. Ready, girl?
Yes.
Excellent. listen to this. Track 24.
I should start answering. Okay, then my mother homes is the place that I usually go often because I think that this is a quiet place where I feel comfortable. And besides my place in Mexico City, my mother house is a big place where I can go to the kitchen or to the living room to start working in my task activities from work. But I think that this is the better place for me.
Perfect. That's it. Okay, 45 seconds fly away, right?
Just because I think that I was going to listen something.
Yeah, it was a very quick audio, like something different, but no, actually it was only this. A place you go often, and that's it.
I didn't listen anything.
No,
Nope,
I am not playing audio.
nope.
Jeez, Jesus Christ! Because I played the audio, but I didn't share it to you. I'm sorry.
Yes, I was waiting for that. Then I get distracted.
Okay, well, actually, you did very well, because the audio track was exactly what you had here.
Okay,
So there was technically no difference. The audio asked you the to speak about the place you go often.
okay.
So that was the same. No problem. Wow. Okay, I'm playing. I'm sharing audio now. Okay, in case we have a problem. Would you like to repeat your recording?
No,
No. That's too much. Okay, okay then. Your answer is good. Your answer is good. Let's to go on feedback on that. Let's go to number 2. Okay? It says here number 2, you will now be asked to give your opinion about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Now, Connie's example was a great, great demo, so everybody can know what to expect. The second person will go Fer. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Number 2. In this question, you will be asked to talk about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare a response and 45 seconds to record the response. Some college students choose to take courses in a variety of subject areas in order to get a broad education. Others choose to focus on a single subject area in order to have a deeper understanding of that area. Which approach to course selection do you think is better for students, and why?
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
Okay, so I think that the best students can do is just to focus on one single area, because anyone can know everything about everything. So it would be better if they just focus on one area. For example, with the degrees, even if you're studying one single degree, they tend to have many areas, and it's impossible to know everything about it. So in my opinion, they should focus just on one area, an area that they are good at, that they like it, that they can have a lot of interest. And yes, that's my opinion.
That's it. That's it. Very good. That's it.
Me faltaron segundos.
Yeah, probably you're missing a couple, probably some 10 to 5 seconds, something like that. But I think it's good. Like at the end, it's not necessary to cover the full time.
Okay.
Okay, that's very very nice. And yeah, it flies away. 45 seconds flies away. There was not a lot of time missing. That was very interesting. All right, let's pass to the next one. Okay, you will now read a short passage. Here, this is the passage. Okay, you have 45 seconds to read. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. This is the longest speaking section. Okay? So let's play the track.
Number 3. In this question, you will read a short passage, listen to a talk, and answer a question about them. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare a response and 60 seconds to record the response. The university is planning to eliminate its bus service. Read the article from the university newspaper about the plan. You will have 45 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now.
Let's begin reading, guys. Action.
Now listen to two students discussing the article.
I don't like the university's plan.
Really? I've ridden those buses, and sometimes there were only a few people on the bus. It did seem like kind of a waste.
I see your point, but I think the problem is the route's out of date. It only goes through the neighborhoods that have gotten too expensive for students to live in. It's ridiculous that they haven't already changed the route, so it goes where most off-campus students live now. I bet if they did that, they'd get plenty of students riding those buses.
Well, at least they're adding more parking. It's gotten really tough to find a space.
That's the other part I don't like, actually. Cutting back the bus service and adding parking's just going to encourage more students to drive on campus. And that'll just add to the noise around campus and create more traffic. And that'll increase the need for more parking spaces.
Yeah, I guess I can see your point. Maybe it would be better if more students used the buses instead of driving.
Right. And the university should make it easier to do that, not harder.
The man expresses his opinion of the university's plan to eliminate the bus service. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep.
The next person that is going to speak, Chucho. Okay? The instruction was to express what the man's opinion is about, why he states that opinion. You need to report technically what he said. Okay? So prepare your answer after the beep.
Begin speaking after the beep.
It's time to speak. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Okay. I share the same opinion that this guy said because, well, for example, if we have more cars, as he said, there will be more traffic. So it it implies many things. For example, traffic, contamination, noise, and on the other hand, if we don't have buses for the students that don't have a car, as me, so this is a point very selfish that maybe the authorities are not seeing. So yes, it's not a good idea.
That's it. Okay. Very nice.
No sabía qué decir, okay.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I think the same thing happened to the rest of us. Like Connie and Ferry also experienced the sensation of not knowing what to say. No, it's what do I have to say here? Doesn't matter. That's the spontaneity of the TOEFL, and that's a very good value. And that's pretty much it. The last one is going to be for Sophie. Okay. Your exercise, Sophie, is very similar to Chucho's. You're gonna hear something about social interaction after reading about social interaction, and then you will have 30 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to speak. Okay. So let's go through the audio. Listen to this.
Number 4. In this question, you will read a short passage, listen to a talk, and answer a question about them. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare a response and 60 seconds to record the response. Now read the passage about the nature of social interaction. You will have 45 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now. Now listen to part of a talk in a sociology class. The professor is discussing audience effects.
Okay, so we said that the way we interact with others has an impact on our behavior. In fact, there's some interesting research to suggest that in one type of interaction, when we're being observed, specifically when we know we're being watched as we perform some activity, we tend to increase the speed at which we perform that activity. In one study, college students were asked to each put on a pair of shoes with laces they would have to tie. Now, one group of students was told that they would be observed. The second group, however, didn't know they were being observed. The students who were aware that they were being watched actually tied their shoes much faster than the students who thought they were alone. Other studies confirm the same is true even when we're learning new activities. Let's say someone is learning a new task, for example, learning how to type. When they're conscious of being observed, they'll likely begin typing at a much faster rate than they would if they were alone. But, and this is interesting, the study also showed that certain common behavior, things people typically do, like making mistakes when you're learning something new, that behavior pattern will also increase. So in other words, when we're learning to type and we know we're being watched, we'll type faster, but we'll also make more mistakes.
Explain how the examples of tying shoes and learning to type demonstrate the principle of audience effects.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
The teacher says that there are some research that affirms that when you watch something while you're learning, you can do it faster or start to do it faster, but also there's a probability, I think they mentioned that you also can, well, the students that watch also can have more mistakes, I think, do it this activity. So, but it's a fact that the people that don't watch the the activity that they are learning, they they just learn by themselves, can be slower to do it. My time is
Perfect. That's it.
it's so difficult.
Yes. Yes, it is hard. It is hard, but because it's very spontaneous and probably in the we lose seconds when we're like no, that happened to everybody. That was a common one.
Yes. Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, yes.
That's
Yep.
very, very common to everybody, but that's precisely the thing. So the next time you're like trying to do that, these 30 seconds of preparing, when you are preparing the task, I suggest that you start writing keywords. You
I
know,
see.
like in these 15 seconds, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go with my idea goes like this and this and this and this and this and this, and then you build a mini sequence of what you want to say from the beginning to start. That will give you a better use of the seconds when you are processing what to say. You know, so this particular time is effective for that, to avoid losing seconds and be able to speak more. Also, similar case as the writing, copying words that you heard in the listening, in the audio. You see? That I think that was a very common mistake in everybody. Like most of you forgot to use the words that they use here, both in the reading and in the audio. So this time of preparation is a very nice way to guide yourself.
Definitely.
You see? That's gonna be my tip for the TOEFL demo that we are going to do on the 15th. Okay? So this was the training. We are going to have some listening practices through the next week. And on the 15th, we are going to do a simulation, a TOEFL simulation. Okay? Now that's gonna be with the real time, with real practice, and with a real thing. I have a question for you. Do you have time? Do you have already the schedule to present your exam or not yet?
Yes, it's on the 13th, December 13th.
Ooh, so it's gonna be before. Okay, we gotta hurry. In your school, do they present the exam with the speaking section or without the speaking section?
Without the speaking session.
That's super easy then. That's gonna be easy peasy. Very good. What about Chucho and Connie? Are you presenting your an exam anytime soon?
Oh, in 1 year with 6 months later.
Perfect. So you have an idea of what to do in 1 year. In 1 year, a lot of progress. You can make a lot of progress, eh? So that's gonna be very interesting. And Connie is just for training, right?
Yes, I already did my exam for my bonus.
Oh, and did you pass it?
Yes, I sent you my results. I have B1 in listening and B2.
Oh, it was the one that you sent me?
Yes.
Okay. That was perfect. That's excellent. Well, in this particular case, in the case of, for example, the guys that have been with me before, Connie, if you finish this 16th with a B2 level equivalent in the TOEFL, you are considered graduated. Oh my God. Yes, I know. That's gonna be the mission. So study your vocab, practice this month because you're finishing this month.
Okay.
All right. Oh my God. I'm so excited to see that, And in the rest of us, on January, we're gonna start a conversation class, the ones that actually Chucho's brother is interested in, and we're gonna do another training for TOEFL because a couple of students are coming to the group because they want to do TOEFL too. So that's gonna be a restart on the level for B2. Okay, so I really hope that you pass your exam. Now you have the training, now you know what to do, and you know what are your weaknesses. Attack your weaknesses. Okay, with a strategy, not with insecurities. Strategy. Everything is with a strategy. Okay. Perfect. Tomorrow, let me finish your feedback on your writings, so you can study what happens. And tomorrow we discuss about it, and we open a new vocabulary for the listening practices. Okay. We finish for today. Excellent class. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Bye.
You guys.
Hey,
See you later.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, brother.